All right, let's jump right in today. We're about to embark on a deep dive into one of history's most incredible journeys,
Oh, I know what you mean.
the first circumnavigation of the globe.
Absolutely incredible.
It will be guided by Antonio Pigafetta's first-hand account of Ferdinand Magellan's expedition.
That's right, an amazing primary source.
Get ready for tales of diverse cultures, perilous storms, and yes, even a dramatic battle or two.
Buckle up. Pigafetta's journal gives us a truly vivid window into a world that was right on the cusp of transformation.
I can only imagine.
The year is 1519, and maps, well, they were more like rough sketches back then.
Huh. I can't imagine navigating with those.
Right. Not exactly reliable guides.
So much uncharted territory, so much unknown.
And to make things even more intriguing, Magellan kept his true destination a secret.
You're kidding. What was the destination?
A westward route to the Spice Islands.
Wow. The Spice Islands. But why keep it a secret?
Well, imagine revealing such an ambitious plan. It could have sparked a mutiny before they even left port.
I suppose that makes sense.
Fear of the unknown was incredibly powerful back then.
Definitely. Makes you wonder about Magellan's leadership, though.
Absolutely. Was he a visionary leader or more of a manipulative captain? Pigafetta gives us clues.
I like that. Leaves it for us to ponder.
Exactly. And to add to the drama, you have this crew, this mix of Portuguese and Spanish sailors.
Not exactly known for their friendly relations at the time.
That's right. Talk about a recipe for high seas drama right there. How did they even function as a crew?
Especially with a secretive leader like Magellan, it's fascinating.
Well, that's where Magellan's strict ordinances come in. He really enforced these rules, especially to keep the ships together during storms.
So it was all about control.
A remarkable level of control, especially given the potential for dissent among the crew.
It makes you wonder how much of their success relied on, well, Magellan's iron fist.
Versus genuine cooperation.
A great question, and one that Pigafetta helps us explore. Speaking of Pigafetta, their first stop is the Canary Islands.
The Canary Islands, yes.
And he describes this, well, it sounds almost unbelievable, this amazing tree.
A tree? What's so amazing about a tree?
Water gathers on its leaves every day. It was the islanders' only source of fresh water.
Wow, now that's resourcefulness.
Isn't it? People adapting to their environments in ingenious ways. And that theme, well, it continues as they sail for weeks.
Weeks at sea.
And finally reach land again, an island they called Zamal.
Samal, and where is that exactly?
It's what we now know as Samar in the Philippines.
Ah, the Philippines. Makes sense.
And the welcome they received.
I bet they were relieved to be on land.
Pigafetta describes these Zamal people as reasonable, offering them food, drink,
Ah, yes, the hospitality.
including this unique palm wine.
Palm wine. Sounds interesting.
It's called Uraika,
Uraka. Gotta love those old-timey names.
and it's more than just a beverage.
Oh, how so?
Pigafetta explains how they used a single palm tree for, well, everything.
Everything.
Food, wine, oil, even vinegar.
Now that's what I call sustainability.
Isn't it remarkable? Living in harmony with nature, utilizing every part of that palm tree.
It really makes you think about our own relationship with nature today.
It does, doesn't it? And this sustainable lifestyle, well, it's something we see in other islands, too.
Other islands outside.
Their next stop is this archipelago.
An archipelago full of islands.
Pigafetta first calls it Humunu,
Humanu.
but then he renames it.
Oh, what did we rename it?
Watering Place of Good Signs.
Watering Place of Good Signs sounds promising.
Well, they found freshwater springs, vital for the voyage.
Of course, fresh water is always crucial on a long journey.
And wait for it.
Okay, I'm waiting. What is it?
Their first signs of gold.
Gold, that's right.
Well, that must have caused some excitement among the crew.
Imagine the anticipation knowing the riches the Spice Islands promised.
The allure of gold? It's timeless. But Pigafetta doesn't just focus on treasure, does he?
He doesn't. He describes the people of Humunu, mentions their painted faces and gold adornments.
Painted faces in gold. And get this, he contrasts them with the people on a nearby island.
Another island? What were they like?
They had large holes in their
Large holes in their ears. Okay, that's different.
Pigafetta's detail isn't just random curiosity. It shows how diverse the cultures were, even within this island chain.
Each with unique customs, appearances.
It challenges our modern assumptions about these islands being uniform.
It's a reminder that human societies can be incredibly diverse, even in close proximity.
Absolutely. Speaking of reminders,
Oh, what are we reminded of?
Pigafetta's near-death experience.
Oh, right. He fell overboard.
He did, nearly dragged under,
That's terrifying.
but managed to cling to a sail and was pulled back aboard.
What a close call.
He was lucky to survive, His account really personalizes the story.
You realize this wasn't just an adventure, it was a constant dance with danger.
Exactly. And soon after, they have their first major encounter with a local ruler,
A local ruler, okay?
the king of Mazava.
The king of Mazava. And who was he?
We believe it was Raja Kalambu from Limasawa.
Raja Kalambu. Got it.
And this encounter, well, it's like a masterclass in diplomacy.
Diplomacy, high stakes.
They used a slave from Sumatra who could speak the local language.
So they had a translator.
And they slowly built trust through gift-giving.
Fascinating. What was going through their minds, I wonder?
I know, right? The Europeans with these strange new objects, and the king encountering them for the first time. Pigafetta's attention to detail is what brings this encounter to life.
So he describes it all.
Oh, he does. The king's astonishment at the European goods, the swords, the armor, even navigational tools.
It was a clash of worlds.
And Pigafetta understood that these small details would tell a much larger story.
He was capturing this pivotal moment in history.
Absolutely. And get this, Magellan tries to explain circumnavigating the globe to the king.
Trying to explain that concept to someone who'd never seen a map, let alone thought of the Earth as a sphere.
Mind-boggling, isn't it? And Pigafetta doesn't stop there. He describes their time in Mazava, the people chewing areca nuts, staining their mouths red, the island's abundance of gold, spices, animals.
Sounds like paradise.
It does, doesn't it? Pigafetta was like a human camera, capturing this new world for those back home.
And from Mazava, where did they go next?
They sailed on, stopping at various islands,
Okay, more islands.
including one called Satyan.
Satyan. Anything interesting there?
They found birds with eggs as big as a goose.
Eggs as big as a goose. I'd love to see that.
And get this, Pigafetta casually mentions an area with unbelievably deep waters.
Deep waters? Like how deep?
Well, given their route, we think they sailed over what we now call the Mariana Trench.
The Mariana Trench. The
Yeah.
deepest part of the ocean.
That's the one.
Wow. They sailed over that without even realizing its significance.
It really highlights how much of the world was still a mystery back then. Speaking of mysteries, Pigafetta shares this intriguing tale about the King of Brunei and his quest for two famous pearls.
Okay, this I gotta hear.
You won't believe this. Kidnapping his own father-in-law for those pearls? What a story. It really makes you think about the lengths people went to for wealth and power back then, especially with the spice trade booming.
Oh, absolutely. Those pearls were more than just beautiful objects. They were symbols of authority, real status symbols. And that incident with the King of Brunei, well, it wasn't just a personal drama. It reflects the whole era's power dynamics, the fierce competition for valuable commodities.
It really does. You have these explorers charting new lands, encountering all these diverse cultures, and all along there's this ruthless game of power playing out in the background.
It's a good reminder that history is never simple.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It reminds me of those incredibly vivid descriptions Pigafetta gives of the people they encountered.
Oh, he was a keen observer.
He was. He doesn't just note their physical appearance, but he talks about their customs, their beliefs, their way of life.
It's like stepping back in time. His observations are still valuable for historians and anthropologists even today.
And those details, they really stick with you. Like, remember how we contrasted the people of Humunu with those from the nearby island, the ones with the large ear holes?
Oh, yeah, that was fascinating. It highlights the significant cultural diversity even within a relatively small area. They weren't just homogeneous societies. These were distinct groups, each with unique customs and appearances. Pigafetta doesn't just tell us they were different. He shows us how.
He does, and it's those subtle distinctions that make his account so compelling.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder not to oversimplify the past.
It is. Thinking about those differences reminds me of another detail. Pigafetta recorded the people of Mazava chewing areca nuts, staining their mouths red.
Ah, yes, the areca nut. It was a mild stimulant widely used in Southeast Asia, kind of like coffee or tobacco today. It might seem like a small detail, but it actually speaks volumes about their daily habits and social customs. Pigafetta helps us connect with these people on a human level, even across centuries.
It really does. Makes you wonder what they would have thought of our modern-day habits.
I know, right? Coffee breaks, energy drinks, it's fascinating to consider. And speaking of cultural exchange, their encounter with the King of Mazava is a perfect example. That delicate dance of curiosity and caution on both sides.
It was a real test of diplomacy.
It was. They exchange gifts, share knowledge, and ultimately a fragile friendship emerges. It really highlights the crucial role interpreters played in these early interactions. Without someone to bridge that language barrier, Who knows how that meeting would have gone?
I can only imagine the challenges. Trying to explain your world to someone who's never seen a map or a compass, that same need for careful communication comes up again when they arrive at Zubu and, well, fire their cannons upon entering the harbor.
Oh, wow. Talk about a first impression. Can you imagine? You're going about your day and suddenly these massive ships appear, booming with these thunderous unknown weapons. Talk about a cultural misunderstanding waiting to happen. It's pretty terrifying when you think about it.
Absolutely. It was a real clash of worlds. But thankfully, Magellan sent an emissary to explain that the cannon fire was, well, a gesture of respect, not aggression. And once things calmed down, the cultural exchange really seemed to blossom.
It did. They shared food, they traded goods, even demonstrated their weapons and armor. It must have been quite a sight.
I bet. And Magellan even tried to explain navigation, using a map and compass, to the king of Zubu. Again, imagine trying to convey that concept to someone whose worldview was completely different.
Absolutely mind-boggling. It must have been a truly unique experience for both sides. And it's moments like these that Pigafetta captures so well.
He does. He doesn't just recount the grand events. He focuses on the small human interactions that make history come alive. He gives us a front row seat to this incredible journey.
He does. And he doesn't shy away from the harsh realities either. The storms, disease, hunger, even mutiny. He paints a complete picture, reminding us that these voyages weren't just romantic adventures. They were real-life tests of human endurance. They were filled with danger and uncertainty.
They were. And Pigafetta and his crewmates persevered, driven by a mix of curiosity, ambition, and perhaps a touch of madness.
It takes a certain kind of person to embark on a journey like that, knowing the risks involved. These were true explorers, adventurers, pioneers pushing the boundaries of the known world.
They were. And they weren't just discovering new lands, they were encountering new ideas, new cultures, new ways of life. Imagine the impact on their worldview, how it must have challenged and broadened their perspectives.
Absolutely. And thanks to Pigafetta, we get to share in that transformative experience. His journal offers a glimpse into this pivotal moment in human history, a reminder of the importance of exploration and cultural understanding. He reminds us that the world is this vast and diverse place, full of wonders and challenges, and that the human spirit of adventure will always push us to explore further.
It really does. It makes you wonder what other incredible stories are out there just waiting to be discovered.
And on that note, in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore the final leg of their journey and Pigafetta's incredible legacy. Stay tuned.
So we're back, diving deeper into Magellan's epic voyage through the words of Antonio Pigafetta. We've crossed vast oceans, encountered incredible cultures.
And we've seen the wonders, but also the harsh realities of exploration. It's been quite a journey so far.
It has. And as we approach the final leg of this adventure, well, there are still some pretty remarkable moments Pigafetta brings to life, like his descriptions of the different rulers they met.
Those encounters really do offer a fascinating glimpse into the power dynamics of the time.
They do. The king of Brunei, willing to kidnap his own father-in-law for those pearls. It's a reminder that they weren't just beautiful objects.
Oh, absolutely. They represented authority, wealth, real status symbols back then.
Makes you think, what was the king of Mazaba thinking after that peaceful exchange of gifts?
Right. Perhaps even then he sensed those darker undercurrents driving these explorers. It wasn't just about curiosity and discovery.
Definitely not. The spice trade, with its promise of immense wealth, played a huge role.
Absolutely. The pursuit of spices, like cinnamon, well, that was a major driving force behind those voyages. Control over those commodities could make or break empires.
They could, and speaking of cinnamon...
Yes, one of my favorite spices.
Pigafetta doesn't just tell us about the spice itself, he actually describes the tree.
The cinnamon tree.
Yeah, and its surprisingly small size, and the process of harvesting the bark.
It's amazing how he captures those details. He even records the local name for cinnamon, cane manna. Did you know that?
I didn't. What does it mean?
It means sweet wood.
Sweet wood. It's those little details, those specific words that bring his journal to life, transport us back in time.
It's like we're right there with him, experiencing it all firsthand.
Exactly. And it makes you realize that something as common as cinnamon today, well, it was once a driving force of global exploration.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
It does, and it's a reminder that the world, even centuries ago, was interconnected in ways we might not always think about.
That's true, but those connections weren't always peaceful.
They weren't. The death of Magellan in the Battle of Matan is a stark reminder of the risks these explorers faced.
It is a tragic end to a leader. And it highlights the complex political landscapes they had to navigate.
Absolutely. But despite that loss, despite their dwindling numbers, the remaining crew, they pressed on.
Incredible resilience.
It really is.
Yeah.
And they ultimately achieved the first circumnavigation. It's amazing. Pigafetta's words about Magellan are so powerful.
How does he describe him?
He calls him our mirror, our light, our comfort, and our true guide.
It's clear Magellan had a profound impact on him on the whole expedition.
He did. And Pigafetta's account doesn't end there. It details their return to Spain, completing this incredible journey.
And after that,
He travels throughout Europe, sharing his firsthand experiences.
like a true storyteller, it's as if he understood the magnitude of what they accomplished.
He did. And he felt compelled to share that story, that knowledge with the world. His dedication to preserving their journey is remarkable.
And thank goodness he did right. Because of his efforts, we have this incredible window into history.
We do, not just about geography and exploration, but about human encounters, cultural exchange. It's more than just dates and names.
It is. Reading Pigafetta's journal, we're not just passive observers. We experience the wonders, the hardships alongside him.
We do. And we gain a deeper appreciation for our shared human history. It's a testament to the power of firsthand accounts, personal stories.
They connect us to the past, allowing us to learn from those who came before us. It's truly a gift.
It is. So as we conclude this deep dive into Magellan's voyage, I'm left with a sense of awe at their accomplishment and gratitude for Pigafetta's dedication to preserving their story.
Me too. It's a story that never gets old.
It's a story that continues to inspire, reminding us of the power of human curiosity, the importance of understanding other cultures.
And of course, the allure of exploration, the drive to discover.
Who knows what other incredible tales are still out there, waiting to be rediscovered.
Perhaps this deep dive has sparked a thirst for exploration in you too. Keep seeking, keep learning, and keep exploring the world around you.